And good morning, good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us. As I look outside, looks like mostly clear skies. What's the temperature say in your car this morning, Mike Powell?
I think it's around 38.
38.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
No.
The rain that went through yesterday didn't last too long.
Yeah, a couple hours maybe.
Yeah.
In my area, but
More I think till later in the week, if I'm not mistaken here, or midweek or something like that. Where did I see that at? Wednesday, 55% chances. I don't know when they started putting different numbers on your. It used to just always be zeros at the end of the number in the percent chance of rain. It was 10 through 90, but now they've added the fives in there. When will they add the? When will it be a 42% chance?
Well, mine for
going to get real serious.
Mine for today says 22%.
22%. 22. Okay. Well, you got the high tech phone.
Monday 7, Tuesday 24.
7.
7% chance of rain.
It's kind of like these ball games. We say they have a 54% chance of winning. No, they don't. Everybody's got 50. Everybody's got 50% chance of winning when they take the field. Maybe not so with weather, though. You might, on some of the hot, dry days, you pretty much know it's not going to rain. 39 degrees, it does say, outside our studios here this morning. We got basketball to talk about, high school tournament time, playoff seedings coming out today. We think they're today.
right.
I'm pretty sure they are today because that way coaches will know who they play. They'll get a practice day on Monday and then open up the playoffs on Tuesday, a little different this year. Not 3 games in the first week. What do you think, Mike? Just 2, 2, and 2, right, Brett?
2, 2, and 2.
2, 2, and 2 from here. It's different at the end as well. There's not a full week gap between regional finals and championship. It's like some are just 2 days, right, Brett? Some teams will play their regional finals.
Yeah, you get 2 days off.
Get 2 days off and then
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Depending on if you play Monday or Tuesday.
I've always wondered why we had to have that full week off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's
in basketball. I mean, I know the Final Four does it, but guess what? They're flying from many different places. Plus, there's a lot more to plan for in the college Final Four. I started thinking this week. We follow all these sports. We follow them rather closely. I think all 3 of us follow NFL to some extent year round. You're always looking to see what trades are going down, if anybody is moving up in the draft. When draft's over, it's not long then till you got the. This is one thing I don't watch much of is that combine.
No, I don't.
But,
I don't pay attention to
that. But it is nationally televised on that NFL network. And then it's not long till you get into training camp and all that kind of stuff and all the preseason hype before they start playing there in September. But I don't know about you guys, probably not for you two guys, but I was thinking the other day, football is the one I'm most interested in every year. I mean, especially the NFL more so than college because you think, when the season starts, you want to think in your mind that there's, everybody's got hope. And there's at least 20 teams that you could see maybe making the Super Bowl on one side or the other. Sorry, AFC teams. Y'all aren't going to make it too much with Patrick Mahomes as long as he's in the league. But I really love to follow the NFL. And then, it's probably college football is still probably second for me. But I've had a flip. I've had a flip. Yep. Major League Baseball now has passed college basketball for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What has turned you off to the college game most?
Don't know the players.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Don't know them.
Well, not only the one and dones, but also now the portal.
Yep. You mean he's playing there now?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I mean, where will he be next year?
It certainly has.
And I've always been a Major League Baseball fan, but, the NCAA tournament is so different from anything else, I guess, in sports that, And I'm sure that I will watch my share of the NCAA tournament, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as it was to me, 5-10 years ago, when at least you learned your players the name on their back.
Yeah.
Because they were going to be there. Just think how many good and great players there were back in the day that couldn't leave. You had to stay for a long time. You had to stay 3 years, right?
Yes.
Yep. Some people left after their junior year, unless they went straight into the NBA, and there was only a handful of those in the early days. Like, was Moses Malone not number one, the first person to ever skip high school? I mean, skip college. Might as well skip high school, good as he was. Skip college and go to the NBA.
Yeah, he started the trend, I think.
Yep. Is that, I mean, the way it's set up now, I don't think is really good for the game. That you can, you have to play, but it's only 1 year. Or you don't have to play college ball, but you have to be 19. Is that the way the rule reads?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, and I think you have to have a year between high school and NBA.
So not just 19, but a year removed.
Yeah, because there's plenty of guys out there that reclass in high school, and they're 19 when they finish high school. But
yeah, they could go straight into the G League, correct? If they're 19, is that right?
Well, they can all do that, can't they?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they can. I think any high school player can go into the G League if he decides he just don't want to play college basketball.
Right.
I noticed something yesterday. Something popped up on my phone. I haven't done the research. I don't know if you guys are even aware of it or know what it might be. But talking about all the college things that are going on, there was a suspension. It says judge suspends NIL rules. Did you guys hear anything about any of that news or anything?
No.
I don't even know what it would mean to suspend the NIL rules. Does that mean all of a sudden there are no rules? There are no guidelines? I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, that they could do whatever they want. Court, just real quick, just to tell you what the sub-headline says. It says, court grants injunction to freeze NCAA's NIL rules. More on what that means from college recruits and transfers is in this article here, which I have not had time, obviously, to look at and see any details or anything like that. But I tell you, just last week, the North Carolina Private Schools Association opened up Neal for their athletes, while the all teams that fall under the NCHSAA not so at this time. So does that mean when realignment comes around, those teams will be in their own separate? Because how can you let teams that are getting paid, being able to pay players, take on just regular public schools that not yet anyway can do that particular thing? I'm just not
that
sure.
whole private thing is mind blowing.
Well, they are in their own league.
They are, and I don't know if I don't know. There are a few private schools though that play in public conferences, and it makes me wonder.
I don't think they're
like Charlotte Catholic.
They fall under the NCHSAA.
What's the big one in Raleigh?
Yeah, if you're a member of the NCHSA, you would have to fall under their rules.
I guess. I don't know. Because it said private schools.
Cardinal Gibbons 1 year.
Yeah, Cardinal Gibbons is the one I was trying to think of, yeah.
And Charlotte Catholic.
Yep, mentioned Catholic. But here's
Bishop McGinnis.
Does it,
another one.
And where do charter schools fall in all that? That's what
yeah, because, charter schools aren't really governed by, I know in Lincoln County, Lincoln Charter has its own board. They're not governed, their policies.
And while it is a public school, per se,
in a way it's private.
They still can get kids from,
25-mile radius.
At least, yeah. So I don't know how that works. But
the Lincoln County School District really has nothing to do with Lincoln Charter. I mean, because
no, they don't fall under the LCS system.
LCS system at all.
Oh, and it's not just Lincoln Charter; it's all the charters. All the charters are that way. Yeah. So
even though they are state schools, they're funding.
It's
salaries.
funny, I don't know if it's funny or if it's scary that this stuff with the high schools and the NIL and all this kind of stuff is happening at the same time that the NCHSAA is kind of taking a back seat, to legislature, so who knows where we're headed? I mean, who knows where we're headed with high school athletics in the future? And on top of all this, it's realignment time, and we're going to 8 classes, something that we've never done before.
It really is.
So,
I mean, it's a time of upheaval and change.
I'm telling you, it's one of the biggest. I mean, this is the biggest thing to happen in high school sports in North Carolina, I think, since they merged the East and the West. And
you think it's that big?
Well,
wow. Yeah.
I said the biggest since then.
Yeah.
But
I agree
in the
with
grand
that.
scheme of things, Mike, it might be bigger, whatever happens here, because
you're talking mainly about the reclassification to 7 or 8.
When they finally put the East and the West together and it went into one association, that should have been. That was
and that didn't happen to what, 72?
Yes.
Yep,
I think it was 72. But yeah, just a crazy time in high school athletics and high school anything.
Facebook today. Good morning, Junior Adams and Stephen Lowe tuning in.
Early birds. Glad to have them up. Glad to have them up this morning. Brett, I'm reading the headlines. I don't know how late you were up last night. We'll go through some other things, get off of this NIL stuff. And the headlines here say, Miami Heat 106, Pelicans 95. A foul on Zion Williamson incites fight, ejections in Heat Pelicans game.
Yeah, I did see a highlight of that. And Zion wasn't even involved in the fighting.
Oh, his teammates or the other team just a foul on Zion. Does that mean
they fouled Zion?
Okay, that's like it could be the other way.
But I didn't think it was anything bad. It was actually Kevin Love who
Kevin Love.
The senior citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's he doing in a fight?
And he just kind of wrapped his arms around Zion, and I guess a couple of Zion's
he must have had long arms.
Teammates, didn't like it. And Jimmy Butler, of course, one of the ones ejected. He looks like he's always looking for a fight.
Is he the oldest player in the league?
No.
Okay.
I would guess LeBron is.
Top 10% though, right? Would you think?
I don't know. I don't know what his. Let's see.
He's just one of those guys that I've heard his name forever.
He's 34.
Okay. Well, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Love just wrapped his arms around him, keep him from going up for a shot, and Zion was completely out of the play. Turned his back to it, and all of a sudden his teammates come up and
wonder why. Must have been some friction already.
But it was just love. I mean, it wasn't
just love. Just a love
just
tap.
Giving him a bear hug.
Yeah, like I said, there must
Love
have been
love.
something going on already.
Yeah,
for that.
And Love wasn't one of the ones that got. I mean, right. he wasn't really involved.
Well, wasn't
in the fight either.
Flagrant foul or anything like that.
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't. I mean, Zion fell down,
yeah.
but it wasn't like he was.
It wasn't dirty.
No, it wasn't dirty.
I don't think I've ever seen Kevin Love do anything.
Like
dirty.
I said, they had to be something already. If we had time to go on and read the article, I'm going to guess there was something that happened earlier that they were just looking for anything to start a scuffle or whatever. But nonetheless, the Heat win that game 106-95. They are 31-25. I didn't realize the Pelicans were doing so well, Brett.
Yeah.
34-23.
Yep, they're having a good year.
So, not too shabby there. Toronto beat Atlanta 123-121. Philly over Cleveland 104-97. Houston over Phoenix 114-110. The Clippers over Memphis 101-95. Oklahoma City 147-106 over the Washington Wizards. Miami 106, we already said that one, over New Orleans 95. Milwaukee edges Minnesota 112-107. Golden State over Charlotte. Let's see how bad that spread was here. Not bad, 97-84.
Ended Charlotte's, I think it was a 4-game win streak.
Is that right?
It had been almost 2 years since they won back-to-back games, and they won 4 in a row.
Wow. Golden State, they go to Golden State and get that streak ended. Starting 5 for Charlotte?
Oh,
Any idea? How many can you name?
Well, LaMelo Ball, but he didn't play last night.
Brandon Miller, the top draft
rookie.
Pick.
Yeah.
Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
The reinstated. Miles Bridges. A couple weeks back.
How about Mark Williams, the former Duke player? He's not the starter, is he?
I think he is when he's healthy, but he's not playing right now. Back injury.
Let's see.
Let's see to finish out the scoreboard. I don't know if I did this one. I'll do it again. Denver 127, Portland 112, and the Lakers on the West Coast 123 over San Antonio 118. Any stats for Wemby?
27, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 blocks, 5 steals.
That it? So he's living up to the billing.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
His team is just really bad.
11-46.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they should get a pretty high pick again.
I'm going to go back to what we were talking about previously because I've got a couple messages here. One from Lenny says, I can remember when you could not leave at all without proving hardship, like a family issue or things like that in life to leave college basketball early. He said, I think Spencer Haywood, and I remember the name, and I know Mike will.
I remember him.
Was the first one to actually leave and go somewhere else because of a hardship. Now, help me with Spencer Haywood. I know the name. But
I want to say he was with the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
Early on.
Yep. I wonder what school he was at.
Yeah,
and
he played for the Lakers for a little bit, but I don't know where he went to college. Let's see.
I can't remember.
And then back to the Zion issue.
Detroit Mercy.
Okay. That's Dick Vitale.
Yeah.
That's where he I doubt it was at that time, but who knows? It might have been.
68-69.
It might have been.
Detroit Mercy.
His coach might have been Vitale.
Might have been.
I think that's the one Vitale was at.
Yeah, or was it, or just University of Detroit? I'm not sure. Whether Detroit Mercy.
Well, I don't know. Lenny might know that. Ned says it looked like Zion was walking away complaining to the refs when the fight actually started. Mm-hmm. So maybe he was a diversion, trying to get the attention on him. Yep. McAdoo, yes, that is correct. Ned says Bob McAdoo, the former Tar Heel, also left early back in those days. We had him in our trivia question a while back, didn't we? One of the trivia questions about being the only junior college transfer to play for Dean Smith through all those years.
Yep.
So interesting in itself. It says Wemby's rare 5x5, 5x5 night. So he had at least 5 in 5 categories, right?
Yeah.
So that's the 8 assist is I don't know. Is that should that be surprising for a guy like that, a big man like that? Because it's no different really than what Jokic does. He dishes out
faces
quite
the
a
basket
few.
a lot. Yeah,
dishes out quite a few assists as well. But yeah, it made me wonder.
Yeah, well, it says he averages a little over 3 assists.
But now, guys,
it's more like it.
This year, is there really any towering college player or even someone from overseas that a franchise-changing kind of player for the draft? I don't really know anybody.
Well, last year, Wembyano, he was so blown out that
right.
you heard something every day for a long time. So evidently there's nobody.
No,
I would guess the top ranked players are either international or playing in the G League or something other than college basketball.
Yeah, because nobody jumps out at me in the college.
I was going to ask you who would be speculated as the top college pick.
Well, Zach Edey, I suppose, the Detroit center.
He's on ESPN's board. He's ranked 13th.
13th?
Well, the top
plays
ranked
for who?
Purdue.
Oh, well, you said something about Detroit. And that,
No. That was earlier.
You said the Detroit center.
I thought it said Purdue. Well, I meant.
That's what threw me off.
The top ranked college player on ESPN's board
I meant Purdue.
is from Colorado.
Yep.
Oh.
Cody Williams,
Okay.
shooting guard from Colorado.
Okay.
He's ranked 3rd overall. Robert Dillingham's ranked 4th out of Kentucky and out of Hickory.
Yep. And Combine for a year or two, right? Played for Combine.
Yeah.
He can shoot it.
2 foreign players are ranked 1 and 2.
Did you guys watch any of Kentucky and 2 nights ago? Kentucky and LSU. Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
I fell asleep, and I think when I fell asleep, Kentucky was like 17 ahead. I woke up, and LSU had won.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this would be a good topic of conversation, and I'd almost forgot about it. But how long does Kentucky, you know where I'm going?
Stay with Calipari?
Yes. How long? They're not winning national titles right now.
No.
Kentucky's used to getting to the Final Four and winning some of those titles.
It's been a while since they've been to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time.
Those loyal fans that's been around a long time can't be happy with getting the best freshman class, kind of like similar to Duke. They can't be happy, though, with getting those best freshmen in there and not, getting anywhere with them.
Not even get maybe past the Sweet 16 occasionally.
How hard does this make it on a coach these days?
Oh.
You want the best talent, but do you sacrifice the best talent to have somebody that's going to stay with you at least 3 years?
Or then you also got to consider the portal.
And how do you determine? Yeah, how do you even determine if you think they'll stay with you? I mean, if you're getting 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, do you go all the way down to 2-star to get a guy that he's
that low.
Well, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
And what do you do? I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to be a college basketball coach this day and time when you don't know. And college football, for that matter, it's a little bit different, but not quite as many, I don't think, percentage-wise,
right,
jumping around. But in college basketball, I mean,
if you can find the mix between the highly recruited players that may be one-and-doners, and then you look at the portal to fix particular needs or fill particular needs, could be one way to look at it, but it's still.
I think Duke and Kentucky have done so much one and done that now the players go there expecting to be one and done before they even get there.
Yeah, they already made up their mind.
And if they're not one and done to the draft, then they're 1 year and they're leaving and going somewhere else.
That's it. They're
going to be one and done one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this: if you declare for the draft and you don't pull out, by the deadline, you can't jump in the portal and go somewhere else, can you?
I don't think
because then you're penalizing that team that they left. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then the portal has its windows, right, which you have to take advantage of it when you're eligible.
Boy, that'd be a hard decision to make, unless one of the schools that was involved was offering $1 million for you to come, then I'd probably just go ahead and jump on it.
And now you have bidding wars for the portal players.
Yeah. Boy, how uneven does that make college sports? College sports might as well take the college off.
Well, let's take off the amateur status anyway.
Pre-pro.
Yeah.
I've taken off the amateur status
years ago. Right?
Yeah, probably so. Let's see. Spencer Haywood. Lenny says he played mostly for Seattle, the Seattle SuperSonics. He was at Detroit before Vital. Yeah,
okay.
I thought it might be before Vital.
Before Vital.
Yeah. That means he's old.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the early 70s for Vital's arrival at then the University of Detroit.
Yep.
At then, what it was called then. So evidently the name has changed to Mercy. When Vital was coaching. It was Have Mercy on Me.
Me, yeah. I'd like to see his record at Detroit when he was there.
I have no idea. I really don't. I don't have any idea.
He got fired.
He wasn't at a powerhouse.
No.
I mean, let's face it. He wasn't. He was not at a power. You know what? But getting rid of him is probably the best thing ever happened to him in his life.
Are you kidding?
Because it changed his.
Had he not gotten his shot, he'd just been a middling, middle of the road, mid-major kind of college coach.
Career.
He would have coached 30 years and retired. And
college coaching record was 79-29.
Ooh,
that's not bad.
Ooh, not bad. I would say a lot of coaches got a better percentage.
He went 17-9, 17-9, 19-8, 26-3, and made the Sweet 16 that last year.
Made the Sweet 16. I never have heard that.
But when did he get fired? I thought he always said.
Or did he get fired?
He went to the Pistons.
Oh.
After that,
switched Detroit franchises. Where he was not as successful, I'm guessing.
And coached a year and then 12 games into his second year, he was fired.
Wow.
30-52 his first year, and then he was 4-8 in the second year, and he was fired.
Okay. See, I didn't know that he coached in the NBA.
I remember it now that Brett said it. I remember it. He went to the Pistons. But I couldn't. If you'd asked me, I'd have probably said yeah, he did. But it didn't enter my mind till he brought it back up. How long a tenure?
A year and 12 games
in the NBA.
Yeah,
a year and 12 games, and a record of.
What was
it?
34-60.
Yeah. The Pistons. They've been kind of the doormat for a long time, except for that run they had with Chuck Daly, about an 8 or 10 year run they had there when they
had Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, how many titles did they win with?
I think two.
Just two. Lambeer.
Well, then they got good again in the early 2000s with they won a title. They beat the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq.
Okay.
With Rip Hamilton.
That's right.
Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups. They were really good. They went to a couple finals.
Yeah.
All I remember is just Chuck Daly, and when that era, I don't really remember.
Who was it? Larry Brown that was coaching them in the.
Most likely.
I bet he was.
The year
he coached everywhere else
when they beat the Lakers.
Oh man. Lenny says that he did. Vitale jump to the NBA if Detroit Pistons, but it did not end well. That's pretty good. I like that. It did not end well. That segment of his life may not have ended well, but the broadcasting career of Dickie V. Were you guys with me when we went to the ACC tournament and we were standing at one of the doors and he came out and he stood there and talked for a little bit to everybody that was there? Yep, just.
It's when we were waiting on Duke's players to come out.
And we remember the little Maryland guard was out there. And
Juan Dixon.
Yes, and I thought, he's not as tall as I am. He's he's a little bitty thing, but boy, he could play. Juan Dixon could play. I think that might be when we had Gene with us, and Gene said, "Where's that turtle now?" And 3 weeks later, they were the national champs. It might have been. I know one year we went and we saw Duke beat Maryland, and then Maryland went on to win the national title. It's their only national title under Gary Williams. Yep.
The sweat box.
Forgot about that.
I mean, wringing wet 5 minutes into the game.
He could. You're right. He could drench a coat
easy,
pretty quick. Time for our first timeout. You guys ready for the timeout?
Sure.
What are you ready for, Mike?
Trivia.
Here we go.
Music trivia.
We'll take our break right after I read these first couple lines from the unknown artist.
Yep.
Driving home this evening, I could have sworn we had it all worked out. Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And welcome back to Sports Talk with that what they call that, a hard entrance there. The music crashed right as we come back on the air.
Oh, we also got a good morning on Facebook from Lanny Ford.
All right. What's the temperature there in Gatlinburg this morning.
I don't know. And Selena Reese Keever.
Probably not a lot cooler than it is here, but a little bit. I got one answer for our trivia this morning. Our musical.
What you got?
Our music lyrics. What have I got? I'm not going to tell you because it's correct.
No, it's correct. Okay, I'm driving home.
Now,
this
I'm going to
morning.
make sure Hooks knows that we don't allow looking them up.
No,
because he's doing good at this, and I like it.
We don't.
But we don't allow
try
looking
not to
them
allow
up.
looking up.
Lenny Anthony also comes in with the correct answer.
I have no clue. Driving home this morning, I thought everything was okay.
Well, it wasn't that time of day, and that it wasn't everything was okay.
Oh,
but no wonder you don't get them, Mike. When you hear different lyrics than what I read, it makes it.
I usually figure them out, but these other guys.
It does make it more difficult on you. When you, I'm gonna give them to you again, Mike.
Give them to me again.
Driving home this evening.
This evening.
I could have sworn we had it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's about a relationship, obviously. Classic rock.
You had this boy believing, way beyond the shadow of a doubt.
Oh, way beyond the
Yeah,
doubt.
there you go. Yep. I don't know anyway. I'm not going to give you any other hints yet.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you any other hints. We'll let.
I'm clueless.
I'm a little surprised Brett hadn't got this one. So we'll see. We'll see if any more correct answers come in. But Hooks and Lenny are both correct with their. Usually, you're right. You don't have to say. I mean, they didn't ask me if they were right. You either know it and
you don't.
You either know it and it's not. Now, some people will say, just like what Ned just sent me just now, I know who it is, and he's got the artist right, but he can't think of the name of the song. And, that happens to me quite a bit, too, when just if you hear one on the radio or something. But interesting. We'll see how many poor people can weigh in on that one.
Sammy Hagar.
No. He can't drive 55.
He can't drive 55.
Yeah,
but he was driving.
Yeah, he was driving.
So
yeah, he, at the rate he was driving, though, he wasn't having time to think.
No,
about having
it all.
Drive
55,
having it all
which means he's
out.
driving way above 55.
Do you want hint A or do you want hint B?
I'll take any hint. I don't care where it is.
Okay, he's a solo artist. If that helps you any.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They call him solo artists, even though they got a backup band back there.
Oh, sure. Every solo artist.
But he
has
is.
a band.
It is his name. It's just it's his, and I gave you his. It's his name. It's not like it's not like the Rolling Stones. It's somebody's name. Now, Mike, don't you guess Mick Jagger, because I said it's not the Rolling Stones. There.
How about the Jeff Ely band?
Don't take that to heart. Yeah, that But you said band.
Yeah, I did. Can you tell me what movie the Jeff Ely band was featured in?
I can't. I don't know much about. I tell you, I'm not a great person on me. Now,
I was looking at Brad. I thought he might know that.
Let me think one second. The Jeff Healey band is. What does the song make your angel eyes?
Yeah.
What's the name of that song? That's the only song I can think of by the Jeff Healey band.
That is.
You know what I'm talking about, Brett?
Yeah.
And I don't know how we got off.
No.
Ned is correct. He finally got the correct name of the song.
The song too.
Yeah, but that's the only thing I know by the Jeff Healey band. Kind of a deep voice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have more songs than that because their name's out there too much to not have had more.
No, they were in a kind of a cult classic movie starring a very well-known actor.
Okay. What was it?
Well, think of it. Okay. Nobody knows?
Well, I don't. I'll probably, I may have heard it whenever you tell me what the movie is.
Well, I'll tell you this.
They were in the movie, or they
were in the movie.
They were actually in it.
They were actually in the movie, and they played in this place where it was so rowdy they had to put a
chicken wire.
Blues
Brothers.
Chicken wire up. So
no, it's the Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, Patrick.
Oh,
Swayze.
okay.
Roadhouse. There you go.
Okay.
That's what I call it. That's a guilty pleasure movie.
I could have been here all day and maybe not have come up. with Roadhouse. Now that's no knock on Mike. It's a good question. Anytime there's a band in a movie.
Yeah, that's right.
It follows
It
right in.
has the
with our
actual
trivia.
band as to what it really is.
Yep,
Yeah.
Rodney got Roadhouse. He had
He
seen
got
it
it
right
too.
as Brett had said it.
That's a good one.
I would love to hear some of the choices here on this song. We'll go back to those lyrics if somebody don't. If Mike and Brett's the one I try to get to come through
I can't come
with
through
the
on
with the.
Jackson Brown.
They remind you of to me. They remind me kind of each other. Yeah, they kind of remind me of each other. It's not Jackson Brown, but
singer-songwriter type kind of thing.
whatever reminds you of him, Mike.
Although that's not really classic rock. That's more of a.
Now, why would you say Jackson Brown's not classic rock?
Yeah, he would be. He would. I think.
Where else would you throw him in?
Yeah.
What other category are you going to throw him in?
Southern California rock. Yeah, he would.
Okay, so you're going to say then anybody from Southern California don't fall into classic rock?
Yeah. Yeah, I jumped into that one.
I don't believe I go that way. Brett, you're going to hate me, but it's championship games, and I'm going to go through my scoreboard with all of them on there.
Okay.
Because it might be interesting to know for playoff purposes.
Who's in the East? Yeah.
Well, I can, yeah. The main thing I want to try to do is still West, but because it is. But last night, I'm assuming.
Well, there weren't near as many games.
No,
as
there weren't.
a usual Friday night.
Every game played last night should have been a
No, there wasn't
conference
140 or
tournament
50
game.
games across the state last night.
Aiden Grifton beat Southwest Edgecombe 48-27. These are boys' scores. Clayton 62, Garner 60. Washington County falls to Bertie. Bertie County wins 54-48. Swansboro over White Oak 89-76. Those are privates. You wouldn't even know the name if I told you.
Swansboro is a highly ranked, I believe, 3A East team. Maybe number one in RPI. Yeah, 3A East. Swansboro's number one.
How about that? Ned gives me a couple more hints I could give. One of them is one I was just trying to decide to give you it or the one that I did give you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I'd already forgot about. The other hint he gives me I'd already forgot about. But we'll get to that if you need it when we get there.
I may need it.
You just might. Mount Tabor over West Forsyth 72-60. East Gaston over Shelby in the Southern Piedmont Championship game 57-51.
Which was, by the way, played at Cherville's Nixon Gym for some reason. Because they figured they needed a bigger venue.
Nobody else had heat.
I think it was the size of the gym. Because
Cherville's has enough for the whole conference.
Well, here's the thing. It was Thomas Jefferson's turn to host the finals.
Okay.
But it was felt that the East Gaston Shelby game would attract so many fans that
wouldn't hold it.
Needed a bigger venue, so they held it at Cherryville.
Okay.
I guess
So
that was a compromise.
Shelby did win the regular season.
That's right.
East Gaston.
What was that score again?
The tournament.
Last night, 57-51.
Yeah, pretty close game.
Mm-hmm. Central Cabarrus squeaked by Concord 85-44. That's a thumping in a championship game. I don't think that's the Salisbury I'm looking for there because they played Elevation Prep Academy and Salisbury lost 82-66.
Yeah,
that's not the number 2 ranked Hornets. The only Hornets that are ranked number 2 in anything, right? Hertford County 45, Northeastern 35. Defensive struggle there. Cherokee over Hayesville 69-65. Now you talking about can pack a gym. Cherokee can pack a gym, and I don't care where they go. The Cherokee fans and student section can flat pack a gym. Guess who's winners of the 3A Big South Conference Tournament?
That surprises.
Hunter Huss over Kings Mountain.
Yeah,
75-61 in that championship last night.
Hunter Huss only 14-12 on the season.
Wow,
well, we've seen it occasionally. Dark Horse gets hot
But
at the right time.
They beat
Clinton,
South Point, Crest, and Kings Mountain.
They did
all this week.
Pretty good teams.
Yeah.
Pretty good teams. What do you think's the best win out of that? The Crest win?
Yeah, Crest. I would think. Since they won the regular
beating
season.
Crest, yeah. Hunter Huss 75-61. I got to look at that again. That's impressive for that 3-day stretch.
Yeah, they were under 500 going into the tournament. And won it.
Yeah, who's the coach there now, Mike?
Oh boy, I don't know.
I mean, they've had some legendary ones down there.
There was a guy named Wallace up until a couple of years ago.
Max Preps has it as Troy Phillips.
Don't know him. Yeah.
Well, hats off to him.
If that's up to date.
Yeah, hats off to him and the Huskies.
That puts them in the tournament. Does that put?
What
seed? Necessarily put them.
What
in the
seed
tournament.
would they have been, Brett?
Yes,
it puts you in the tournament. You win a tournament.
You are in.
Yeah.
As a 2. No,
you're in as a 2, but they don't seed 2s.
They don't seed.
But
2s.
you are in.
But it gets you in.
Yes. Yeah.
You can finish last in the regular season
Yes.
if you win the tournament.
I was wondering if that option was still there.
Let me tell you, it is up to each conference whether they do that or not. But I don't know of a conference that does not do it.
Yeah, you should do it.
Well, you should unless you're a perennial power, and then what do you care?
Hunter Huss finished 4th in the conference.
So,
Crest, Kings Mountain, and Ashbrook top
got
3.
hot for 3 days.
Huss probably wouldn't have been in.
No.
With the losing record and 4th in the conference.
Borderline.
Yeah. I'm guessing their RPI this morning, though,
jumped up
has lifted them with those 3 wins that they had this week, has lifted them into the top 32.
They're 15th.
Are they?
Yep.
Wow.
15th.
And they get a home game?
And
Probably not.
At 15, you will.
Well, if you're the 15th seed, you will.
But see, when they put conference champions in, if there's any below them, they'll be seeded first, and they might knock them down to 17.
There would have to be 2 below them.
That's right.
To bump them to
and
a
what's
road
their
game.
record? You said one over
14-12.
500?
14-12.
2 over. And they moved up that much. Wow.
Yeah,
I wonder where they were before.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think they were on the outside looking in before?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Outside the 32?
I don't know. That'd be a lot of spots to move up.
It would.
Just from 3 games.
Wow. That's an impressive jump. Saw a few highlights of this one last night on TV when I arrived home. North Mac over Chambers, 67-55. Did you see the highlights of that, Brett?
No, but that's become a big rivalry.
I'm guessing the guy they were showing hitting threes and dunking was the guy that's going to Duke.
Yeah, Isaiah
North
Evans.
Mac. Is that his name?
I think that's right.
Was he wearing 0?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he
that's
was. I think he was.
That's him.
Let's see. Hendersonville wins their tournament over Patton, 45-37. Now, I may be wrong, but Patton, I think, Brett, was regular season champ.
They were.
And Hendersonville wins the conference tournament. Butler Independence. I bet this would have been a fun game to be at.
Mm-hmm.
Pack Gym. Butler wins 54-52.
Wow.
Over Independence. Lake Norman over Hickory Ridge, 67-53. Goldsboro, the reason I'm giving you Goldsboro, Brad, if I'm not mistaken, they may be one of the top 5 teams in 2A overall. 74-55 over Beddingfield.
They are, yep. In the East, they're second, right behind Farmville Central.
East, yeah. I thought they would be. They're always pretty good, Goldsboro.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Who was the Wake Forest player that came out of Goldsboro? Anthony. I think he played in the 70s, maybe 80s.
Lenny will tell us.
Big guy, about 6'9", 6'10", kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Don't know. Can't answer.
Yeah, Lenny will know.
There was some news this week, and it involved somebody. Oh, never mind. I know. They're having a big event today, a wrestling event that's East-West, like East-West All-Star game in football. Yep. And the Walker kid that was state champion for Lincoln is wrestling a guy from Clayton High. That's the 4A state champ. That is, I think, also undefeated. So, that'd be interesting. It's
going back to wrestling a second now. Is Walker? I called him the G-man. Is he the first Lincoln
wrestler
athlete to win a state championship?
No,
didn't think so.
No, not the first
Not the
Lincoln
first
athlete. They've had individual athletes,
individual champions,
track,
yeah,
cross country, or some maybe.
I was talking about wrestling.
Well, you said athlete.
No, I meant wrestling.
Yeah, he is the first
first
individual wrestler to win a state championship. Okay. Yes, yes, he is. Southwest Onslow over Wallace Rosehill, 44-43. That's sounded like a football game. Washington falls to Farmville Central. You see the score, Brett?
Yeah.
Ooh, 90-59. In the is there any doubt that Farmville? I'm surprised they're not better than 23rd in the state of North Carolina. But
yeah, they have one loss.
Do they?
It was two.
Goldsboro.
Reidsville.
Reidsville. How bad did Reidsville beat them?
76-66.
Wow.
At the John Wall Christmas tournament.
Wow, impressive win for Reidsville, right there, to beat Farmville. What's Farmville's run right now? Do you
And
recall?
they met in the state championship last year. Farmville beat them.
They beat Reidsville.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. By 10 or more, wasn't it? Seemed like it was double digits.
Sure.
Yeah, that
I can tell you.
And it was
12.
Wasn't it Lincoln Charter that Reidsville beat to get to the championship game?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was.
You went
too.
and watched it.
Yeah, I know.
Covered it.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, it was.
See, Lenny says, I taught Troy Phillips in my only year of middle school at Southwest Middle in Gastonia. Guess what, Lenny? I know who that is. That's the Roadrunners. Southwest Middle, the Roadrunners. Yep. Mike's favorite team still playing. Well, they got beat last night. Ocracoke, 61. Beargrass Charter. 42 last night. I don't think you're going to see Cape Fear on this championship night.
Next Katie's boys.
Here's the Salisbury that I was looking for. The Salisbury Hornets defeat Thomasville in the championship game last night by a mere 39, 75-36 in that championship game. AC Reynolds over McDowell, 54-62. I've heard a lot about Reynolds' girls team.
Yeah.
I didn't know their boys team
Yeah,
was good
I
enough.
think McDowell beat their girls last night.
Oh, did they?
In the championship.
Okay. We are going to get to those here in just a couple minutes. Going to give the girls as well. Mitchell County over Avery, 69-65. Monroe falls to Piedmont. Piedmont wins 61-50. Marvin Ridge and Weddington. Weddington, a 1-point winner, 52-51. Is there anything Weddington's not good?
I don't think so.
I know.
In? I mean, it's amazing, the athletic program down there. Myers Park, 52. Ardrey Kell, 50. Very tight game there. Myers Park considered the number 2 team in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah,
all together.
They had beaten Ardrey Kell by
a lot,
15 and 16 the first 2 meetings. Just a 2-point game this time.
Watauga wins the championship over Alexander Central, 63-56. The game I saw and Brett saw, West Caldwell was a winner over Newton Conover last night, 72-64. This game was fairly close at the half. I want to say, 5-6 points at halftime, maybe 7. And then West Caldwell just poured it on in the third quarter. Actually went up by 22, I think, at one time in that game.
Yeah, and Newton actually led for the first quarter and a half.
Yep, they did. They got off to a really good start.
Yeah.
But that was the rubber game between the 2 teams this year in the 3 games. West Caldwell won.
Yeah, Newton Conover won the regular season.
Newton Conover still the 1 seed out of the conference. Yes, they are, by winning that regular season championship. So just what I've said right now in boys championship games, Hunter Huss, I was going to say any surprises, but we all agree
that's it.
That Hunter Huss is got to be the top, the most unexpected team that won a tournament. Would you say that?
No doubt.
About the boys from Hunter Huss? I mean, that's an impressive.
Yeah, I think they even had to do it at Kings Mountain. I think it's where the championship was.
Lenny, you were right about how I know the Roadrunners because of Chip Allran, and yes, I still have somewhere in my closet a Roadrunners, I'm pretty sure blue and yellow, if I'm not mistaken, T-shirt. Anthony Teachy played at Wake.
Anthony Teachy, that's who I was thinking of. Thank you.
I remember him. You sure he was in the 70s? I thought he was later than that.
It could have been, yes.
Yep. I thought he might have been later than that.
I think the coach was, oh gosh.
Carl Tacey?
I think it was Tacey.
Yeah, I mean,
who followed
Bones
Tacey?
McKinney was before Tacey. After Tacey, a lot of people. But it wasn't Skip. Skip Prosser was not next, I don't think. He came later, though.
Yeah.
Dave Odom.
Dave Odom.
Okay, it could have been Dave Odom.
Could have been Odom.
Yeah. Probably is.
Teach you
Or
how to go
Brett
this
might be
way.
reading it. Probably,
No,
he
I'm not,
probably knows
I'm not
it.
reading
He probably
it.
knows
That's
it
just
was
he's
Odom.
the one that stands out to me. From
Prosser's the one, isn't it, that went out for a jog one
Yeah.
morning and just fell over dead, heart attack.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, a good guy, and
was.
a good coach too.
They
Not
set
just
their
a good guy,
program
but a
back too.
Yeah.
For a couple years.
Yeah, a couple years they ever got it back. I thought it was set back when Tim Duncan graduated, or Randolph
That was
Childress.
almost 30 years
well,
ago.
they had the Chris Paul years. They
Yeah,
were,
the
they
Chris
were
Paul
pretty good.
years.
Yeah,
That was under Prosser, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
they what all did they win while Duncan was there? No, I mean, as far as ACC, did they win? They didn't win the tournament every year he was there. I don't think they didn't win the regular season every year he was there.
No.
But I bet they were. I bet they did half of them out of those 8 titles. I bet they won half of them.
Well, what was their deepest run in the NCAA?
Never had
during the
one.
Tim Duncan years. Never had one.
I mean, I don't remember them ever.
The Sweet 16,
Sweet
maybe.
16?
They've been in the Final Four one time, right?
That was Billy Packer's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how
60s.
far back you have to
61 or 2, maybe. Something like that.
Yep. Lenny says Dave Odom was probably the coach.
Yeah, I
so,
think he was.
at that time. But, when Duncan departed, so did the win column in some respect.
Well,
Now,
today
their
they're
current coach, Scott Rhodes, they're competitive.
they play Duke today, and they're favored by 2.5.
And I think if they can, they need a quad
home
one.
game.
They need a big time quad one win. If they beat Duke today, that might.
Quad one wins. Butch probably likes that about as good as he likes pods.
Yeah, pods and quad one.
Pods and quads.
Pods and quads.
That's what sports
for
has
Butch.
gone to now.
It is. Yeah.
Just sitting here trying to think of where's Duke ranked? What would that do for them? Are they in the top 10?
Yeah, they're in the top 10.
7th, maybe.
7.
Yeah. But Wake is in dire need of one to kind of,
Man,
get their resume a little.
I've watched a little ACC basketball lately. It has to be the worst Power 5 conference, or I'm just not seeing the other teams play. But and I'm not. Duke's a decent squad. Carolina's a good squad.
Yeah.
I don't. I think
anybody else out of the ACC
Carolina
really
would agree they're not great right now. I thought they were great there for a stretch, but they're not right now. Duke's just above average. Virginia is.
Virginia set back the calls of basketball the other
gosh.
night. They went 14 minutes without a basket against Virginia Tech.
They cannot score.
14
minutes. And how many did they score for the game?
41.
41.
And
I'm surprised they hit that.
In the second half, they had 16 or 17 at some point in the second half.
Yep. And Virginia Tech is not like, hey, we're this up and coming dynasty here. I mean, and who's the other team in there in that mix? I'm trying to think of with Duke, Carolina, Virginia, and there's one other one I would consider in the top.
I think Wake Forest is.
Yeah, it's Wake.
It's
Wake.
Yep, it's Wake.
How about Clemson? Are they going to get in?
Clemson's pretty good. They got to get in.
No.
18-8.
Clemson is.
Yeah.
18-8.
They won at Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's a good win.
Yeah, it
definitely
is.
their best win.
Yeah.
And you know what? That'll probably go a long way toward.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't lose in the first round of the ACC tournament.
And they should have won at Duke. Duke.
Yeah,
was
they had that
real
one
lucky
won.
to.
Yes, they
pull
were.
that one out.
Yes, they were. Let's see. I think they have a good coach now in Steve Forbes. Says.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's pretty good.
I thought he owned some big company. Is that the same name? Is it Steve Forbes?
Not sure.
Or not?
Well, he's the list for the Forbes. What is it, the Forbes 500 or whatever?
I will let you guys guess who this is from. Damn Pods.
We know who that's from.
Oh, and what was the other word that we just used? Quad.
Quad one wins.
Quad and pod.
Quad and pod.
Our words of the day. Quad and pod. What do these words have to do with sports? And not many people can actually answer that for you, right? I would think. Going to go at least some of the Western girls' scores from last night. Randleman defeats Southwest Randolph 60-47.
Wait a minute. Did we talk at all about up at Hickory High School last night?
We'll go back.
Okay.
Let's go back to that. I want to go back to that.
I got you. I understand.
Both of them. Probably after the break
because
we need to take a break right after I get these scores in. Yes, I'm definitely going to let you talk about it. South Central 71, Jacksonville 45. South Central, I just love the name. That's your L.A. boys, right, Brad, or would that be Chicago? East Surrey, North Wilkes. North Wilkes wins 45-30. Low-scoring games in some of these, except for Cherokee. Cherokee defeats Hayesville in the girls' championship, so they won them both, right? 82-27 in the girls' championship. Lincoln Charter edges out Community School of Davidson. Man, I don't know if this is defense or stalling. Lincoln Charter wins 39-28 in that game. Mallard Creek over North Mac in the girls' game. When I was watching the highlights last night, Mallard Creek girl hit a layup at the buzzer, 61-60. They win as the buzzer goes off.
Just looking at Lincoln Charter's schedule, their girls had lost to Community School of Davidson both times in the regular season.
Does it say what the scores were of those?
44-37.
So still low scoring.
And 44-42.
Okay. I thought maybe they did something different here. Maybe tried to slow it down.
Well, they held them to 28 out of it, so maybe they did do something a little different.
Yeah.
So, Community School of Davidson did win the regular season.
Back to our real quick, back to the scoreboard. East Lincoln girls complete the sweep. They win the regular season. I'm going to let you talk about it too, Mike, when we come back.
All right.
East Lincoln 51, North Iredale 33 in that matchup. East Wilkes over North Stokes 41-38. Hoggard over New Hanover 57-18. I'm surprised by some of the blowouts in these championships.
Well, did you do the Goldsboro-North Johnston game?
What was it?
40-16.
40-16
Goldsboro over North Johnston.
Yep, so Goldsboro wins both tournaments, right, in their conference.
16 points. Championship game.
Stuart Kramer over Crest 49-40. Did Stuart Kramer win that conference regular season?
I think they were pretty much the top dog there.
I thought they were. East Rutherford over Hendersonville 62-49. Beargrass Charter in it again, Mike, in the girls 62-26 over Cape Hatters.
Decisive win.
It was decisive. Charlotte Catholic falls to Independence 69-68. Catholic falls. Independence is your tournament champions in girls basketball there. Lake Norman falls to Hickory Ridge. Hickory Ridge 52-48. I think same two teams were in the boys, weren't they? And Lake Norman won, if I recall that correctly. North Pitt 73, West Craven 31. Southwest Onslow 38, East Duplin 27. Bessemer City falls to Thomas Jefferson in the girls' final 58-40.
That's surprising.
Congrats to Bessemer City.
Two of the 1A teams made the championship game.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah,
Thomas Jefferson was undefeated.
Because I would guess
as the 1A team.
Shelby had dominated that conference the last few years.
They fell
girls.
off.
It's odd not to see that too, isn't it? Right now,
no more Hollifield girls.
No more Hollifields.
Yeah, well, give them about 20 years.
They'll be back.
There'll be some more. Marvin Ridge over Porter Ridge, Battle of the Ridges, 45-41. Eastern Alamance, speaking of Battle of County, Western Alamance beats Eastern Alamance 58-50 in girls action. Cape Fear wins for Mike Powell, 72-60 over Southview.
That's Katie.
Northwood beats Seaforth 55-44. I'm taking it that was an upset since I see a ranking besides Seaforth's name. McDowell, Brett, it says AC Reynolds was the winner. They did not.
Oh, were they?
They beat McDowell 62-51 last night. So the boys and girls from AC Reynolds.
Oh, okay. I thought I read on Facebook that it was split.
Well, they could put these in there.
That's probably
possibility that AC Reynolds will be the top seed.
Well, we talked to Odie last week, and he said that is a team to be on the lookout for. He said they are dynamite, and they will be a force to reckon with in 3A girls playoffs.
Well, let me see who the final RPI has.
You look that up.
AC Reynolds.
Does it? Number 1?
Yeah, West Row and 2, East Lincoln 3.
Wow. 2 of the top 3 in one well, they're not in one conference, but
Yeah.
all three of those. Well, that's just West.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say all three of those are in the West.
So that means East Lincoln would have to go to West Rowan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you know,
And if they played AC Reynolds, it'd be on a neutral court.
we talk about this kind of thing and stuff like that, but guess what? To win a state title, you're going to have to beat some good teams.
Yeah.
You are.
You're going to have to beat some good teams at some point. Watauga over High Brighton, 68-46. Myers Park loses to Audrey Kell. Audrey Kell 53-51. Mountain Heritage 68. Avery County 33. Let's see. For some reason, I did not notice the East Burke. East Burke defeated Bandy's last night in the girls' championship of the CVAC. And
yeah, how about this? East Burke's girls are 5th in the RPI in the West.
that's a good West then.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
because
that means not many home games
Well,
for
and
an
also,
undefeated team.
You know, I talked about this last night with a close friend. The CVAC girls just weren't that good. The conference just wasn't.
No, yeah,
wasn't,
that
you know,
definitely hurt them.
that
The
did hurt 'em.
opponent's
That
win
did hurt 'em.
percentage.
And that's
But
why
they're the only undefeated team in there, and they're going to be seeded 5th.
Yeah. Only undefeated, and they're 5th. Wow. See, I don't know. I think it ought to be weighed by different issues, and the number one thing to me should probably be your record. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't know
You
how you
are
do it.
what you
I don't
say
know how
you
you do
are.
it.
So that would be a East Burke Lincoln Charter matchup in round 3,
Here-
possibly.
And here it is. I just overlooked it. The final was 43-26, East Burke winning.
Well, actually,
43-26.
Lincoln Charter girls didn't win their. I don't think they won their.
Regular season.
No, they didn't. Pretty sure they
Or
didn't.
no, that was the boys that didn't.
I don't think either one
The
did.
girls might
I think
have.
the girls were second. One
No,
of them,
yeah, I just said Community School of
Yeah,
Davidson
okay.
won it,
There you go,
and they're
sir.
seated below. They're ranked below East
blank
Burke.
below, but they won't be seated. But well, yeah, they will.
They will because they're both.
They'll be
conference
seated ahead of
champions.
Lincoln Charter. That's what I have.
So
in my
East
mind.
Burke's girls should be seated 4th.
Yep. Lenny says I saw the same highlights you did. North Meck, Mallard Creek girls, 2 length of the court plays and scores in 12.2 seconds. Yeah. Getting the ball
ending.
up the floor. He said that's getting the ball up the floor right there, and he's exactly right. Let's see. Hook says I agree, David. They should go by a team's record. Because sometimes there are times you can control some of your opponents, but in a conference you can't. In a conference you cannot control who your opponents are going to be.
I just pulled up Cape Fear's girls.
Yep.
They have a girl averaging 34 points a game.
Yeah.
Jada Angel.
It's got to be one of the top in the state.
Did you say Jaden Angle?
Jaden Angle.
Jada
I wish
Angel.
Jaden was tuned in this morning. That'd be pretty
Love
good.
that name, Jada Angel.
She's no angel. She puts the fear. Get it?
Puts the
in the opponents.
fear in the opponent.
Puts the fear in the opponents.
Mhm.
All right, real quick, before we take our time out, back to the lyrics. Mike Powell failed his class this
I
morning
did. Nath.
on lyrics, and Brett
Fat
did
ass.
as well. If I do it like this, driving home this evening, could have sworn we had it all worked out. You had this boy believing way beyond the shadow of a doubt. Then I heard it on the street. I heard you might have found someone new. Well, who is he, baby? Who is he? And tell me what he means to you.
Oh, man. I'm almost on the verge.
He's Canadian. And the
Canadian.
song has to do somewhat with a weapon.
He's Canadian. Well, I immediately think of Neil Young, but it's not Neil Young.
Brian Adams
Brian
cuts like a
Adams.
knife.
Cuts like a knife. Yeah.
Cuts like a knife. You guys failed
We
on the
were
first
terrible.
round. Before we go to break,
I don't mind missing that one.
you don't mind
We
missing
were
that.
terrible.
I thought you would jump on that one quick, Brad. I just thought, because I've heard it so many times, the lyrics are just
Ron Adams or Brian Adams?
Brian
Brian Adams.
Adams. Now I'm trying to think of which one of these I want to go with next, but I think because I want to go with which one I think is going to be easier to get. So we will go with Home in the Valley, Home in the City. Home isn't pretty, ain't no home for me. Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And welcome back. Looking good outside. High mid-50s today, I think.
Yeah, I see some
No
blue.
rain inside, I don't think. 2 correct
blue.
answers.
God.
Selena and Lenny.
Selena. All right.
Getting these lyrics this morning. And
Who was the other? Lenny?
Lenny. Mike, I'm trying to remember. I think we have to go back to June last time you got one.
I'm on a dry run. Yes, I'm suffering.
Only thing we were doing them in June.
I need to hear them again.
Yeah, it's like I said, a lot of these, and I would be the same way on a lot. If you don't have the music to go with it, makes it tougher. Home in the valley, home in the city. Home isn't pretty, ain't no home for me. Home in the darkness, home on the highway. Home isn't my way, home I'll never be. And the next word would probably give away.
That sounds real familiar.
Yeah, it is real familiar. It is by a well-known group who didn't have a ton of hits, and this one's probably number 2 on there.
Not their all-time. Okay.
If you finish second, you're not the winner, Mike. Yep. I could give you some great hints on this one, about some where you've seen the band, or
But it is a group.
Yep,
Yes.
it sure is. It sure is. Let's see. Ned says, looks and sounds like ESPN doesn't like or respect the ACC basketball anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Ned. My opinion, ACC is the worst Power 5 conference in the land in basketball and football for that matter. But they still should get some respect because they brought a lot to college basketball over the last 40 years.
Well, even last year they got a team in the Final Four, and that wasn't a vintage year either.
Now, you talking about being blank? I got no idea who it was.
Miami.
Yeah, they're not going this year.
No. That would be a big
Man,
game.
have they been a big disappointment, or
Huge.
was that expected? I mean, every time I look, they're losing by 30.
Yeah, I would have guessed they were picked top 3.
But they did beat Virginia, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they destroyed them.
12-10, something like that.
No, wasn't it? Miami only scored 30 something.
Maybe it was.
Right? Virginia beat them.
Maybe it was that
60
way.
No, it
something
was the
to
other way
38
around.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be what it
Well,
was.
they
Yeah,
lost-
because I sent you a message. Miami just
only
scored
scored
39, 38. Yeah. Let's see. Ned says, I admit I failed. Oh, let me finish his ACC thing. I think that this is because maybe they don't send their top announcers to ACC games. Who is their top announcer for college basketball? Is it still Jeff? Is it Jeff? What's his name?
With ESPN?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like
the ball guy.
Dan Shulman and
That's
Jay
who I'm
Billis.
thinking about. That's who I'm thinking about.
That's their
Shulman.
top. That's
Yeah.
their top
Yep.
guys. Yeah.
Yep. So they don't do ACC games? Is that what you're
That's not,
No, I think they had Duke and Miami the other night.
Yeah.
Did they?
I think
did.
so.
But for the most part, unless you got Duke playing Carolina, which the
Right.
whole country's interested in for whatever reason at the time, the matchups are better in the other conferences right now.
Well, Big 12
You know?
has a big-time matchup every year or two. Every
Yeah.
night.
He says, I admit I failed, couldn't get it, so I cheated. So he knows what the song is we're looking for and the group.
American band or English band?
But at least he does.
Or Canadian?
That's a good question, Mike. I haven't thought about that. Somebody can tell me. They may be English. Let's says you were correct about those Southwest Middle colors, blue and gold. I have a cap somewhere that Chip gave me.
Well, they say
Hooks has got it.
they say
he's 2
ain't
for
no
2.
home for me. I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. They're not English. It would be
Yes,
aunt.
that'd be. I mean, that makes me think Southern rock.
Yeah,
but it might not be. I mean, well, I guess even the Rolling Stones probably say ain't in some of their songs because they got bluesy and.
We talked a little bit about West Caldwell boys last night winning the CVAC tournament with a win over Newton Conover. East Burke completed the sweep. East Burke's going to enter the playoffs 26-0. Mike was at the Western Foothills 3A tournament last night. Saw East Lincoln girls continue their dominance over opponents from the conference. Was that 52 now?
Yeah, I was talking with Coach
I think it's
Odie.
52 in a row.
Yeah, I was talking to Coach Odie, and that's what he indicated. 52 straight wins.
Because he told us last week it was 49.
Yeah, and
he won all 3 tournament games.
Won all 3 tournament games. That's 52. Their third straight Western Foothills 3A Conference tournament championship, and again the 52-game winning streak against conference opponents.
Right.
51-33. Not a vintage performance by the Lady Mustangs. Coach Odie says every time they go to that gym, the David W. Kraft Gymnasium and on the Hickory High campus, for some reason they don't shoot well, and they certainly didn't last night. I had them shooting 28% in the first half, 32% for the game. They didn't shoot free throws very well either, but of course, they got that defense, which is suffocating, and they were able to get a lot of turnovers. Most of their baskets came on transition.
Mike, first thing comes to my mind, it's a 5 foot longer gym.
That's right.
Floor.
But
that shouldn't make a difference in shooting. But the backdrop is different.
That's it.
It's further away,
mm-hmm.
so it could be
Yeah, I think that's it. And when they went up there earlier this year to play Hickory, that was a tough game too. I think they only won it by 2. So yeah, that gym has presented problems. I don't know whether, like you say, you got the backdrop, the balcony, longer gym, whether whatever it is that affects players. But they did struggle offensively, but again, they played their usual tough defense. 20 points from Emma Montanari, sophomore guard. She was named tournament MVP. She bailed them out on a number of occasions. Of course, Kiara Anderson, the other sophomore guard, it makes up their really terrific backcourt. She had 19. Only 4 people scored for the Lady Mustangs. Lane Bethel had 8 points, and their veteran Heggie, she had 4. But it was just that kind of game. Mainly defense. They got behind 5-0 early, but then they had a 14-0 run that put them ahead by 9, and they were up 23-15 at halftime. I don't know. They had 10, 12, 14-point lead most of the game. North Iredale never really made a run at them significantly in the second half. So not a vintage performance for the Lady Mustangs, but they got the win, got the championship. All tournament, I mentioned Montanari, also from East. Kiara Anderson made all tournament, as did Heggie. I can't think of her first name right now. So 3 players from East made all tournament. North Iredale had 2. They made the finals. They're 19-8. Aaliyah Curley and Tatum Bradford. Addison Sis from Hickory made it. And North Lincoln had 1, Allie Smith, to make all tournament.
And in the boys' game?
Well, it pretty much pull that one up here.
Yeah, Hickory's just been dominant all year long. I mean, and they continued their dominance. They, I don't. What does this make their record now? I don't even know. 26.
26-0. I think.
I don't know. I mean, I just threw that number out there. Don't go with me because I was just throwing it out.
I believe that's right.
I think it might be 25. I'm not sure you can. Well,
25 or 6 0.
Let's see.
Or is it 25 or 6?
If you play
4?
a full season,
24,
and then you play 3 and 3. I don't know. I don't know how many they've won now at this point.
Brett can maybe find that on
looking
Max
at it.
Preps.
But I'm guessing they were dominant from the get-go.
Yeah, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, as they say.
Oh, you went to Kansas last night.
Yeah.
You're talking about Hickory's boys, right?
Yeah, their overall record, those boys.
26-0, maybe 25.
27.
27-0.
Yeah, so 24-3 and 3 for the tournament.
Well, North Lincoln didn't do themselves any favors. They fell behind 15-0.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, and that pretty much set the tone of the game. Although they did have a little bit of a spark in the second quarter. Ty Sanders got hot. He hit 4 threes in the second quarter, and they were able to kind of get it into single digits, maybe 8 or 9 points a couple times. But the problem is they couldn't do anything about Hickory's Jamie and Little. Get this guy, 28 points. He was 10 for 12 from the floor and he hit 5 straight 3-pointers in the first half.
And he was the real good football player, right?
The receiver.
Yeah, the receiver, Little.
He can flat out shoot it.
Yep.
And and he was 6 for 7 from the field in the first half alone. Hickory up 49-32 at the break, and the second half pretty much followed the same course. I will say that Sanders had a pretty good game. He had 20 points, but he fouled out late in the third quarter with about 6 seconds to go. So any chance that North Lincoln might have for a miracle fourth quarter rally when he went down, but he was the only player in double figures for the Knights. Disappointing night for Kellen Carr. They put him into the role of point guard, having to bring the ball up against against Hickory's pressure, And I don't know whether that took him out of his normal offensive game or not, but he only had 4 points.
Wow.
Which is very unusual for him.
Well, hold on one second. I want Brett to look something up for me.
All right.
Find what Hickory's closest game was this year. Now go ahead, Mike.
There hadn't been many.
Let him be looking for
sure.
that.
I'd say 10 or 15.
I think they won one at single digits, but I can't remember who it was. But go ahead.
Yeah, disappointing night for Carr, and he wasn't on his game, and that probably did hurt North Lincoln a little bit because he and Sanders, are their main guys. But 5 players in double figures for Hickory. I mentioned a little. Jay Powell, one of the Powell boys, right? Which I saw the father after the game, Julius Powell.
I thought you were going with the nickname Jay-Z, Jay Powell.
Yeah. He had 11. The big center, John Holbrook, who was named tournament most valuable player, he had 15, couple dunks. Isaiah Littlejohn, another one of their top players, he had 12. Yeah, just balanced scoring.
That's the kind of team they got.
They're deep.
It can be somebody different carrying the load.
Any night. Just a very deep team. They got great wings. They got height on the wings. They got athleticism. And, of course, Holbrook's a big kid in the middle. Just a terrific ball club. North Lincoln has nothing to hang their head about. I mean, they came into the tournament, 19-5, finished 21-6. They've had a great year. North Lincoln has.
Yes,
I don't know. They'll probably get a home game more than likely in the first round.
I would think so too. Probably be a highly rated 2, even though the 2s won't matter. But their record's pretty good with the exception of Hickory. Hickory's just been dominant all year.
Hickory
and
their closest game was their second game. It was against Newton. They won 78-76 at Newton Conover.
Over Newton Conover.
Wow.
And that was before they had their football players.
Guys,
and we know Jamie and Little was one. I don't know if they have many others. They had a 6-point win at North Lincoln. Their first matchup with North Lincoln.
76-70.
And then they beat a private school. Westland Christian Academy from High Point.
Yeah, that would have to be.
They beat them by 3.
In a tournament, maybe?
Yeah. Probably.
I don't know. It was January 13th.
Is
that Martin Luther King Day? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was some kind of showcase for Martin Luther King Day.
I think it was. It was what day?
January 13th.
That would have been a Saturday. So,
okay.
Yes, it could have been a Saturday of one of those events. Yeah.
I definitely think Hickory destined for a deep run in the tournament. Everybody's talking about Hickory.
I'm calling and getting reservations for the Central Cabarrus game if you want me to get you a seat, because I want to make sure I'm in there when Hickory plays Central Cabarrus.
That would be in Lawrence, Georgia, probably, right?
In 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, Brett? They'd play in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, I want to go to that one if that is indeed the matchup.
Yeah, but the bad thing is that's going to be on a weeknight.
Yeah.
Every day's Saturday for me. But you're when do you retire? Are you done?
4 more days.
1 more day. 4 more days.
4 more days.
4 more days.
Yeah.
Leap year.
It won't be a weeknight for me at that point.
Right.
Let's see. We're getting a lot of stuff rolling in here, and I'm gonna try to read all these before we take our next time out. Let's see. Hooks, you got the band correct, but the wrong song. Let's see. The one you listed was their most popular song.
Oh, I did get a text that said that they, the band was formed in Long Island, New York.
Yeah, I was going to tell you they're about an 8-hour flight away from England.
Band was formed in Long Island.
Yep, they're from New York.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Hickory's closest game, I said classic rock. Brett would argue with me. I don't know if he considered Goo Goo Dolls classic rock or not, but
90s
classic
rock.
Band. But Hickory's closest game was against North Lincoln. This comes from Hooks as well. And then he said, of course, the Hickory's closest game was against North Lincoln in the first meeting by 6. But then he did find a Newton Conover game that was 2. Richard's got a trivia question. This is mainly for you, Mike, because I won't get this. Speaking of the Roadrunners, we've been talking about the Southwest Middle School Roadrunners a little bit this morning. What famous coach started his career replacing Chip Allran at Southwest. Chip went to Belmont, and this coach went on to defeat Chip's new Belmont team in their first baseball meeting and led Southwest to their best baseball record ever. Ironically, Chip got him the job at Southwest. Thank you, Chip, forever grateful. So I'm guessing that's the way he ended that. I'm guessing that would be Richard Howell.
Richard Howell, yeah.
The answer to his trivia question. So that's my guess, just by the way it reads. We're going to take a timeout, but real quick, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. I'm going to tell you what the lyrics were,
all right,
who they are, because we got to keep moving on. I'm going to give you a hint, and I know Brett will get this right off the bat. More cowbell.
Oh, Blue Oyster Cult.
But it's not.
Don't Fear the Reaper.
It's not Don't Fear the Reaper.
Right. Blue Oyster Cult, and the song is, if I read you the next two lines, I bet you'd get it.
Running.
Not running.
What? Burning.
Yeah.
Burning for you.
I'm burning for you.
Burning.
Burn out the day,
you.
burn out the night. I
out the
can't see
night.
no reason to put up a fight.
That's a toughie.
Oh, that's a
For
great
me,
song.
anyway. Yeah,
That's a
good
great song.
Good song.
Yep. So guess what? You're going to be challenged again, because right before Brett hits the button here for this final timeout, here are lyrics number 3. I met a devil woman. She took my heart away. Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
All right. We got Brett said he knows it, and usually I don't doubt him because usually when you know these, you either do or you don't.
That's right, and I don't.
And his first guess, though, he got it confused with another similar. Or was that you or Mike that got it, that said
No.
no, okay.
Not this song.
Oh, not this song.
So it's a Canadian group out of Winnipeg.
You said don't get it confused.
Yeah, I
with
did.
Devil
I did.
Woman, and then you said who sings that song?
Yeah,
and that's what
right.
I got
That's right.
confused
That's
with.
right.
Evil Woman. Two totally different songs than from this song.
Yeah, this one just to confirm for the folks, it's not Cliff Richards and it's not ELO because they do an Evil Woman and a Devil Woman of their own. This one really don't have that much to do with the line.
No, he just met a devil
woman.
Yeah.
With that particular line in the song. I met a devil woman. She took my heart away. She said, I've had it coming to me, but I wanted it that way. How about that? Yeah, how about that? So we'll see if Mike and anybody else out there can figure that one out as we move along.
Any lovin's
Butch
good
Parker.
lovin'. One of them said.
Butch Parker is in the. Butch Parker's the first one to answer me with the, through the outside of this room. He's first to get the correct, and he said back in my day. Yeah, well, most of these were back in your day, and mine.
Ain't seen nothing yet.
And mine. Yeah. BTO. You ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, that is
Backman Turner Overdrive.
So I took what I could get. She looked at me and said with big brown eyes. What? She looked at me with big brown eyes and said,
Ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, one correction or clarification, Bob Duckworth on Facebook. Little is the only football playing member of the Hickory High School.
I kind of thought he was, but I didn't want to say one way or the other.
That game that they had, a close game, was in the MLK Classic in Charlotte, January 13th.
Okay.
Thank you,
That's
Bob.
surprising. Only one player plays football and basketball.
Yeah.
That shows you the run of athletic talent they have right now at Hickory.
Pretty deep pool to
Which I didn't think the Powell kids played football, but I didn't know about any of those other guys.
They are not twins. One is
one's a freshman, right?
Yeah, one's a freshman. One's a sophomore. I think it is.
They're on a heck of a run right now. In boys sports, that's for sure. Hook said,
and then the Littlejohn kid is son of Brian Littlejohn.
Is he
from Lincoln? Yeah.
Well, he's pretty good.
Yes, he is. He's real good.
Isaiah Littlejohn.
Hook said, Bachman Turner Overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet. That last clue gave it away. So yes, it did. Enjoy doing those.
Yeah, those
and
are fun.
let everybody guess those on on Saturday mornings. Just throw some music. We all are music fans, I think, about as much as I am anyway. About as much as sports. So I always like to throw that in there.
I got to have music going pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Car, home, whatever.
You ever switch it anywhere off of classic rock?
Classic vinyl? I like, every now and then I like a blast of 90s with.
Oh, you're just talking about in the car, yeah. I just meant, do you listen to a
anything
different
other?
Yeah, genre.
Genre.
I'll take a notion to listen to some country.
I will too.
And it's country from 20 years
Me
ago.
too. I like the 90s country.
Yeah, and
or even earlier.
Yeah.
I'll
throw this out there. I'm a fan of the Frank Sinatra channel.
Oh, me too. Seriously, Sinatra, Mella, they standards.
I do like Frank.
I do too.
He's
I pretty much keep serious on classic vinyl, Sinatra, or lithium. I like a little lithium occasionally with the grunge era. I know Brett likes. He used to like that.
Yeah, he's a big Pearl Jam fan. Would you say that's your favorite band from that time period?
Probably, yeah.
And I like Pearl Jam too. There's quite a few in there in that time that I like. But
I like to go with Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains,
Yeah, I don't know why I was never really the big Nirvana fan. Alice in Chains, is that Man in a Box?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Man in a Box.
I like their music. Yeah,
Yeah,
can see some
they're
of them.
really good. Another one that's lead man died.
Yeah,
Real young.
yeah.
Yeah, the grunge bands had a number of lead singers.
What's the band with the Gallagher's, Brett, that broke up?
Oasis.
Oasis. I like them, and that are they together, apart? What are they right now? Even the Black Crowes broke up, but got back together.
Oasis, Gallagher brothers. I don't think they'll ever be together. Not for long, anyway. They might get together, but
yeah, one of them's had a pretty good solo career too, hadn't he?
Yeah, I saw Noel Gallagher.
Okay.
The
only Gallaghers I ever saw were on Shameless.
Yeah.
If anybody watched Shameless, they know exactly what I'm talking about. That is one special group of Gallaghers.
Or the one that busted the watermelon with the
Gallagher.
sledgehammer.
Yeah, I never saw him. On TV I did, and I still think I got watermelon on me. He hit it so hard that it might have came through the TV. Monty, Sinatra equals 2 thumbs up, he says. That comes from Monty this morning. Glad to hear from him as well. I'm just going through some of the college basketball. See if I can get the
college basketball.
It still does exist, right? It still does exist. Today, I'm guessing, is Saturday, February 24th. They give me all kind of dates here. Houston. Has Houston impressed you guys over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
They continue to impress.
Yeah, they're good.
But they go to Baylor today.
That's
play at Baylor, number 11, at home against number 2. That may be one that I actually tune in and watch. I got a feeling I may sleep through some of the games today, but that one, I don't know. That one just seems pretty good. Heard the other night just a little bit on Syracuse taking on NC State. I think Syracuse got down pretty big, but come back and won that game, didn't they? Didn't they defeat the Wolfpack on?
They did.
Whatever night, I don't even remember now. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, can't remember for sure what night that was. Syracuse at home today to take on Notre Dame. Can you name me the coach at Syracuse?
I can't.
Can you name me the coach at Notre Dame?
Shrewsbury.
Yeah, and he came from Penn State.
Did he? Okay, I know who he is then.
Is it Micah Shrewsbury?
Micah Shrewsbury, yeah.
And he's got a son that plays on the team.
Mm-hmm. Houston Baylor, that's probably the big game of the day.
And it's early, right? Is that
12 p.m., yeah.
Adrian Autry, coach at Syracuse.
Can you see them ever getting their program back to where Boeheim had them 15 years ago? Where they were going to be top 10 every year, and he did win a national title.
It seemed like the Big East was a better fit for Syracuse basketball.
Yeah. And it's hard to recruit. This town gets 50 inches of snow a year probably, or more. I would say it probably stays covered in snow the entire winter. It's I don't know. That just to me that kind of makes Boeheim look even better.
Yeah.
Than I think we all agree he was really good or great, but just to get those kids to come there and play basketball for that university, because as far as I remember, Mike, and you may be able to answer this or Lenny, they weren't anything really special before he arrived, were they?
Not really. They were pretty good in the '60s. They had a player named Dave Bing, and Boeheim played with him.
Okay,
but I'm like you, until he became the head coach and got it rolling, I don't remember Syracuse being, like in the 70s, I don't remember that much about them being prominent.
You like seeing Boeheim do games?
I kind of like him.
Yeah, that don't bother me. Yeah, that's good. And he'll crack a joke every now and
then. He's kind of fun to have.
I think I was watching Duke play somebody, and he had that game one night, and he said, "Lord, it's the first time I've ever been up here in this crow's nest." He said he couldn't hardly make it, couldn't hardly get up there and get in. And the other guy, it might have been Schulman that he was with that night. I can't remember, but they were laughing at him.
They made a Final Four in '75.
Did they?
And that was right before Boeheim took over.
I did not know.
Wow. I wonder who the head coach was. I kind of remember that.
Roy,
believe it or not,
You
I
do
kind of
remember?
Roy Danforth.
I don't remember
in
that at all.
75. You said 75.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the Final Four in 75?
that was-
Mike, don't tell that, Brett. Who was the Final
Well,
Four?
I know
in
one of them was UCLA because
I would have guessed them.
John Wooden won his last title
75?
before he retired.
Yep.
And I think they beat Kentucky for the title in 75.
So you're thinking? Do you have that information, Brett?
I'm
Is
getting
that-
there.
okay.
It was UCLA.
It was UCLA that won it, and
Mike's correct.
Kentucky
They beat
was the
Kentucky.
runner-up. Good job,
And
Mike.
then
And then they
Syracuse.
You got 3
Syracuse
out of 4.
Now, okay, and Syracuse. So the other Final Four team in
I have
75.
no idea who the other
Would it be
Final-
somebody just off the wall? No,
No.
it's somebody from a power conference.
Yeah, well-known coach.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Indiana.
Well, I don't know what conference they were in at the time. They maybe not a power conference then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of a hint there
Yeah.
that they weren't always in a
I
power
can tell you what conference they came from.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Missouri Valley Conference.
Oh, wow.
Missouri Valley. You're kidding. Wichita?
Southwest Missouri State.
This is a big-time
I know,
basketball
yeah.
program.
They were just in that at the time, Mike.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
Missouri Valley.
Okay. DePaul?
Kansas.
Not
No
quite
way.
that big of a program.
Okay.
But
I was just thinking geographically.
but it is a school that's won national titles,
Wow.
in the Missouri Valley Conference at the time.
and they were coached by a pretty legendary coach
Hmm.
We always run into some dadgum
who died last year.
Louisville.
Yep.
Denny Crum.
Denny Crum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I never really
Just hit me.
associated
Just hit me
Louisville with
there.
that conference.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to go geographically, and they're not that far from.
That's right.
Missouri.
The Doctors of Dunk.
They actually, the states border, don't they? Missouri and Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, those states border.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit. Lenny said he's going to take up for the ACC, and I'm glad. I don't, he said they may not be the best basketball conference, but they are better than the bracketologists say. They had a 9-3 record for the year against the supposedly best conference, the Big 12. And the ACC-SEC challenge was a dead SEC challenge was a dead 7-7 this year. We were talking about Clemson and them getting in. Did I read? I was thumbing through some stuff while ago. Did they beat Alabama early in the season?
They did.
That'll
help.
Yeah, we talked about them beating Carolina, but beating Alabama, that's feather in the cap too.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it doesn't really matter as much about when that
And
was
then
because
they
ranked
got
high
at
all year.
least 2 really good quad 1 wins.
They also beat South Carolina, who's been
Yeah,
ranked.
That's right.
I don't know if they are right now, but they have been at some point in the season.
Hadn't South Carolina beat some really good teams?
Yeah. South Carolina's
Mhm.
they're 21-5, having a good year.
Yeah.
And their coach
Girls aren't bad either, are they?
Who's South Carolina's coach?
Who is South Carolina's coach?
He used to
It's
be.
not-
it
it's
used to
not
be
Frank Martin.
It's not Frank Martin.
It's not Frank McGuire either.
No.
It's not Dave Odom.
Gee. It's not Bill.
Where did
Awesome.
Frank? What's the guy's name you just mentioned? He was
Frank
at K State.
Martin. He was K State.
Why-
Then he came
Frank
to South
Martin.
Carolina.
What has happened to him? Is he anywhere?
I don't know. Lamont Paris is the coach
I
of
never
South
got
Carolina.
that.
No way.
Mm.
Yeah, because Martin took.
Unless you told me it's a capital city, in a foreign country. I would-
Well, yeah, because Martin took South Carolina to the Final Four one year, wasn't it? Been
Yeah.
Maybe 6-7
Yeah, they
years
knocked
ago.
Duke out.
Lenny
Martin
threw it
did
out
that.
there. He got it. Lamont Paris.
Yeah, I guess this is his second year. at
Lenny, you
South
sat in front of
Carolina.
the tube too much, but I'm about to join you.
He was a Chattanooga coach.
Yeah, because you'll be retired.
Yeah, I'm about to join you and sit in front of it myself for quite a while. He did what now?
He was a Chattanooga coach
Okay.
before South Carolina, and I'm guessing he replaced Frank Martin. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Frank Martin is now. I don't know if he's coaching.
I know.
Oh yeah, he is UMass.
Okay.
Head coach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad he landed somewhere.
Maybe him and John Chaney will have a good relationship.
They won't have to kill him.
Appalachian at Marshall tonight at 6 o'clock
How
on
about
the
that?
Deuce.
How about that?
Are they a tournament team?
Well, I guess they got to win the the Sun Belt. But they're 23-5, guys.
Surely they wouldn't have to win it, would they? I mean,
Well,
it would help, I know.
Yeah. What a record.
Lenny says he thinks Paris came from UT Chattanooga.
Yeah, that was right.
Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at some of these off the wall games here today. Texas at Kansas, that's not off the wall. That'll be very interesting. Auburn at Georgia. Does Georgia have any athletic program other than football?
No.
Respectable? Any other respectable athletic program other than?
Not a thing.
It don't
Golf.
seem like it.
They got a lot of golfers on the PGA
Do they?
Tour. Yeah.
Get this, guys. App has a win over Auburn this year. Well, that's a
Yeah, and I think Auburn is I could see Auburn in the Final Four.
North Carolina at Virginia. How many does North Carolina have to score to win this game?
45.
So it'd be over by halftime. You know,
I
it
would
won't be over
say-
by halftime because Virginia won't let them score 45 by halftime. I don't think, but Virginia just
I would feel
cannot
safe
score.
with 60.
60 will win it.
60 or 65.
We need to see what the over/under is in that game because, okay, would you say it's going to be 100? Would you, if I told you over/under is 100, would you go over or under?
Well, I'd go over
I'd
because
go
it's
over.
way more
Okay.
than that.
Is it?
Yeah,
What is it?
129 and a
Wow.
half.
Wow.
Whoa.
Didn't expect that. So the score is going to be 100
And
to
the
28.
The spread is Carolina's a 2.5-point favorite.
It is at Virginia though.
Yeah, it's at
Yeah,
Virginia,
that's
and they're
true.
coming off a blowout loss, and I
You
don't know
think
if that means anything.
Lenny
or
says
not.
App has a win over Auburn.
Yeah, Mike just
Yeah,
said
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
they
sorry.
do.
I'm reading. I'm
now,
listening. I'm looking
in
up.
case they don't win the conference tournament, would that be enough to get them? I don't know. I'm looking. Who else?
I don't know.
Now
So
they
you
did
think-
lose to Oregon State.
You think two Sun Belt teams to get in the?
No.
Now I'm forgetting.
They're gonna have
You
to
talking
win.
about App?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll have to win the tournament to get in.
They'll have to win
despite
the
their
tournament.
record. I think.
And it's sad because I guarantee you there's teams that will be in there that they couldn't beat App. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think that the Boone faithful, the students are coming out to watch this team? I mean, they're really good.
Yeah, I would guess they are.
Probably.
What
are.
else you gonna do up there on a
Right.
winter day anyway?
That's
you know,
right. That's
especially
right.
on Saturday afternoon.
Walk down to the arena.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I would guess they are. 13 Alabama visits 17 Kentucky. 4 o'clock today on CBS. That's I mean, you know, if you're gonna watch basketball, I don't see why you wouldn't want to watch that one. You know,
Right,
a
right.
lot of athletes on the floor. Anyway, Texas Tech at Central Florida. Texas Tech is ranked as well at number 23. Where is game day? And you know, it's football game day is so fun.
Oh God.
And I know it's because there's only one game a week. And it, but not so many games. But college game day at some of these arenas just.
Where you figure they'll be today? I mean,
I don't even know
yet.
I don't even know. Maybe. Well, it's a 4 o'clock
Houston,
game in
Baylor.
Kentucky. It
But
could
that's
be
very early.
Yeah, it is early. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. They stop game day anyway at
10, 12.
Yeah, it cuts off. So I don't guess the time of the game really matters that much. Some of these numbers are shocking to me. Rankings. Number 4 is Arizona, so they're that good. They're legit.
Yeah, they beat Duke right at the beginning of the year.
And number 6, Iowa State. I mean, I think Iowa State is one of the most underrated athletic programs overall
They always
in the
do
country.
well.
Their football is always competitive, pretty good football. I don't know about the rest of the sports, but just the 2 major sports there, they're always pretty good in.
I noticed Tennessee number 5 has Rick Barnes ever been to the Final Four with either Texas or Tennessee?
I don't know. That's a
know.
good question. I do not know. That's a Lenny.
I think he might have with Texas. I could be wrong.
Lenny said, I heard yesterday Virginia hasn't give up 82 or more points in an ACC game in how many years?
20 years.
11. 11.
Yeah.
They have 81, I guess, would be the mark then for them at the most they've given up in the last 11 years in a conference game. That's pretty incredible. But the thing is, if they give up 82 to Carolina today, I'm gonna guess they lose by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because they have a lot of trouble scoring.
Big time.
With the basketball. He said Lenny thinks game day's at UConn. Who has UConn got today? That must
Villanova.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Villanova's not great, but
be competitive.
yeah.
Not Jay Wright's Villanova teams?
No,
Yes.
not yet.
Guys, I'm looking throughout the top 25. I do not see the Zags. Gonzaga.
So they're not in the top 25. That's what you're telling me now. They're not ranked because surely they're playing on a Saturday. Or are you just looking at the rankings?
I'm just looking at the rankings.
And
they're always.
How about others receiving votes down at the bottom? If you're looking at the rankings, wouldn't it have?
I don't even see them there.
Oh my goodness!
Although App did get one vote of those receiving.
Southern Cal UCLA tonight, 10 o'clock on the West Coast. An ESPN game, however. Which basketball team is better there? Notre Dame or Southern Cal? I mean, not Notre Dame. Southern Cal or UCLA?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Are they? Neither one of them's ranked, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so odd to not see UCLA.
Oh, USC's
ranked
10 and 16.
Woo, 10 and 16.
UCLA's 14 and 12.
Uh,
Yeah, no.
Mitch Cronin
Not
is the
too
coach of UCLA, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been real good the last several years with him, but obviously not now.
What's the group? Cronin. Why can't I think of that? It's Kevin Cronin. It's not. Why am I drawing a blank? Take It on the Run. What group is that? Time for Me to Fly.
Yeah, REO Speedwagon.
Why can I not think of that? Boy, I went blank right there in a hurry.
Fly.
Yeah. Florida State at Clemson. Florida State's not a tournament team, are they?
Lord,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Just looking at a few of these that traditionally make a run and get in there. I see Oregon is not ranked. A little surprised. Should I be surprised by that?
I'm surprised.
Yep. Going to California today. Brett gives me the warning. The time's actually sneaked up on me this morning. So time for us to fly. For Brett, Mike, we thank you for tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. We'll be back next week. See you then.